All right, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Oh. Can you see my screen, Lauren, or did I just exit out of it? Do y'all see my green presentation? No? Okay. Hold, please. Hold, please. All right. Present. Well, welcome, everybody. Oh, I should probably hit share screen. I forgot that, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, guys. I forgot I got a new computer. Did I tell you all my kids shattered the other one? Okay, well, we got a new one and it wants me to approve all the things. This is really annoying. So 1 second. So sorry. And then I will share my screen. Hey, Brittany, I see you. I see you. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, present. Present. And then share screen. Boom. Okay, can y'all see my presentation now? Wonderful. That's what we like to see. Thank you, Sue. I can see your face. All right. Okay, everybody. We're gonna have to edit this recording, but welcome. Tonight is our first mastermind of the 4 pillars. So what we've been doing is breaking down each pillar, and a mastermind just means that you're getting training, but we're also actually building a recruiting system tonight before you get off this Zoom. I want everyone to feel empowered and to believe that people are actually spending money on the things that we talk about and sell on the internet every single day. Okay. So this recruiting system is going to equip and empower you to complete the sale, recruit new VIPs, and feel really good about doing all of that. Okay. And then I want to just make sure as we are building this recruiting system, there is something in the system called framework. Your framework is something you must do first. So for those of you that remember our 4 pillar Zooms and the mindset Zoom, the framework we talked about was you want to create a sales funnel. You want to make a sale. But there is a difference in recruiting versus sales. So if you have a notebook in front of you, these are a couple of questions that I want you to think about. And if you want to just screenshot these questions so you can really think through them this week. But these are some questions that my mentor asked me. I've been doing this for 10 years. And so sometimes I think, you get in your brain, like, I know it all. This works well for me. This doesn't work. I'm not doing that. But truly, the end of the day, this is a business. We're trying to bring in residual income from our business. So what is your sales strategy? What is it? Is it like, okay, I hope they believe me? Like, what is your sales strategy? Do you currently have one? What products do you find yourself talking about the most? And I'll share some examples of that here in a minute. But this is something that you can answer right now. If you want to put in the chat, you totally can. We're going to unmute here in a second, and we're going to roll up our sleeves and have a discussion about recruiting, okay? But what products do you find yourself talking about the most? Do you feel confident starting conversations about the products? Yes or no? And in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not confident, 10 being super freaking confident, you're a boss. How confident are you in talking about products? From 1 to 10. And then, do you feel confident handling objections you may or may not get about the products? On a scale of 1 to 10. How confident or not confident are you when it comes to handling objections? And notice I didn't say overcoming the objection. I just meant handling the objection, because you're going to get them. This is sales. People are going to tell you no. It's very normal in our line of work. We don't have to cry about it. We don't have to get mad about it, but we can handle and overcome these objections. And that's a part of your sales and recruiting systems. And then lastly, how's your follow-up game? Do you feel like you have a successful strategy in place? Do you feel like I could probably do a better job at that? Scarlett, I need that. Those have my notes. I need that. Bring it back, please. And so these are some things I want us to work through tonight together. I don't want you to feel like you have to do this by yourself. I want you to walk away feeling equipped and confident. And then I have a special guest tonight. Senior Ruby, Brittany Duke is in the house, and she is going to share a strategy that she uses with her team and in her own business. And it was really unique, and I really liked it. And I wanted y'all to hear about it. And so we would call this her sales plan. It is something that she sticks to, or a system, but she made the plan, she's working the plan, and it's something that can be duplicated. So her team is now duplicating the same sales plan. So let's go back to those questions. Are you obsessed with what you offer people? Products in the business. We talked about this on, I believe it was the recruiting pillar Zoom. You have to be obsessed with what you offer people. So 3 examples that I went through, I looked at my Facebook profile, I looked at my Instagram. I'm like, what do I talk about the most when it comes to our products? And I boiled it down to the 3-day reset, the triplex gut health system, and weight loss basics. Now, most recently, I have added in balance and restore ever since convention. But even before that, like truthfully, for the last 1 year, those are the top 3 things I'm pretty obsessed with. And I could talk about them all day long. I've had results with all 3 of them. I believe that Plexus gets to the root. I believe that we have incredible products and research and a science team that's just, they get it. And they were like way before their time. Like, we're the original gut health company. That is our superpower. That is our flex in this industry. I'm here for it. I want you to feel this obsession and this belief and this excitement the way that I am. So when you are creating a sales goal, it's to keep these people moving through your funnel so that they're now interested in your product, which leads them to a decision about the product. And then finally, you have the ability to like guide them to take action, and then they click purchase. Some of you are getting stuck somewhere in that. Your drains are clogged, right? We want flow in our business. We want flow. And there's like flow, and then it's like, oh, clog. So tonight, consider me your Plexus plumber. I'm here to save the day. So is Brittany. She's going to give you a unique strategy. And Brittany, I'm going to stop the share for a minute so that I can unmute you and you can kind of walk us through this unique strategy that you use when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for having me tonight. Literally the 7:30 p.m. Man, I was like throwing kids in the bed and I was like, I got this. And so just made it here in the nick of time. As Emily said, I'm a senior Ruby ambassador. I've been here a minute. It's been about 3.5 years since I've been like doing the business side of Plexus. And so this isn't my first rodeo. And I would say like toot toot, I'm pretty good at recruiting. Okay. I tend to be a high recruiter, especially when I set my mind to it. And I don't do anything special. I just do something simple and I do it every time. And so that's what it's really about. Okay. And so basically for me and my team, I'm happy to send my little PDF where I teach people on, but essentially we're asking people their goals. We're asking them what they're struggling with. And then we move on to building belief because y'all, the biggest tip I have is that if you are not building belief in the products prior to giving a price, you're going to have at least like an 80% no. And I really believe that because people are going to see that price tag and go, wow, that's really expensive. But if you've told them exactly why this will help them and you've built their belief by using a testimony or a video, sometimes I do both, depending on how the conversation's going. Okay. A testimony or a video. Y'all, I have my doctorate of physical therapy. I can talk science all day long, but I don't. I zip my lips and I send a testimony or a video, and that's it. Then I asked them, I actually got this verbiage from an Amber Miller training video, I believe. And I'll read this exactly what she says. So after I send a testimony or video, I say, does that sound like where you are now and where you want to be? And I've gotten such great feedback from that question in the last like month or so since I've flipped kind of that verbiage. And people are like, wow, it really does. And immediately they're putting themselves in that place. And then I move on and I'm like, great, would you like to know what they took, or would you like to know my best recommendation for you? They always say yes. Okay. And then I send information on the products. Maybe it's a graphic of triplex. I'm a big triplex girl. I tend to do triplex and 1 to 2 add-ons. But I send a video of triplex, or I send a little quick graphic. Again, not my words. Okay. I'm using these third-party tools over and over again. And then whenever they're like, okay, that looks good, I say, okay, great. Do you want to hear about pricing? And I give them usually two options. And one of them is a bigger price tag, and one of them is just triplex. And I tell them in my verbiage, I say, option one is triplex from the video. It's going to help you with XYZ. It's $124. Option two is triplex plus 2 bags of active. That's going to help you with everything above and give you clean energy and mental clarity. That's 172, whatever, do the math. And I say, which one sounds best to you right now? Y'all, that question and that layout of pricing gets me I'm not even kidding you, like a 90% response rate. But it's not, I don't do that first. And if they ask me pricing from my stories or from whatever I'm talking about, hey girl, how much? I say, well, it kind of depends on what's right for you. Can you tell me about your goals? Can you tell me about what you're struggling with? I always go back to that first step every single time. And one thing to think about this, guys, is that I want y'all to back out and take like a zoom out real quick, because imagine the person you're recruiting. Maybe it's just for products. Imagine that person you're recruiting, they're remembering this conversation, and you want every word or every phrase or every image that comes through your phone to be something that they could see themselves doing or saying. Okay, think about that, because here's why. If later you go say, hey, you should share about this, I would love to help you do this, help get your products covered, and you've been just given all the science info and you've been sending them these paragraph long things, they're going to say, I don't think I could do that. She knows too much. Okay, how many of y'all have said, you know way more than me, I can't do what you can do? Okay, so if when you're recruiting them, you are using the same system you're going to teach them, you can go back to that later and you can be like, remember when I sent you that little chart? We're going to send that to your mom. Remember when I asked you and I sent you that video? We're going to go send that to your mom after she replies. Okay, you're walking her through that system. If you are a person that's like, you're just like sending all these things and sending these long explanations, I call it a knuckle rule. If you're sending messages that are longer than your knuckle, it's too long. And I love you, but people don't care. They don't read all that. And so if you want to tell your story or share a story, send them a voice message or something so they can hear your voice and hear how excited you are. But if you're giving them information, it shouldn't be longer than a knuckle, and you probably have a third-party resource for that. Y'all, I can talk all day long. I love to explain about our products. I love to talk about our products, but I am not duplicatable. And so if we are going to then ask that person to share, we have to show them, hey, we got the resources for you. I got this cute little PDF. You can follow the convo flow just like I did with you. And so that's super important for me for recruiting, especially when I'm teaching my girls. If they send me a screenshot of their message and they're like, what should I say? I'm always like, well, one, if that person were directly across from you and you were having a conversation with them at a coffee shop, what would you say? Like, be a human, right? And so that's your first step. But then when they send me back some long thing, I'm like, how can we shorten that? How could we use a third-party tool? So yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I always filter things through, is what I am saying something that they could go do again later whenever I ask them to share? And if it's not, I need to change up what I'm saying.
Love that. Love that. That is a recruiting system. And did you notice from the 4 pillars, right? We have retention, recruiting, leadership, duplication. She was flowing straight into her duplication system. And that is where a lot of you, which here in a minute, this just bleeds perfectly into the rest of the little presentation I have. But like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have a clogged pipe somewhere in your system and things ain't flowing. And you're like, oh, I'm just not a good recruiter. Well, it could be because you're talking too much. It could be because you're sending all the science and they already were ready to buy and you talked them out of it. Like, sometimes we got to shut up to make more. That's what Ray Higdon said one time on a Zoom 8 years ago. I was looking through all my old recruiting Zooms today to see like what I used to train on, and it's pretty much the same thing, pretty consistently. And he was a special guest. This, like, he's an author now. He has a podcast. This guy's awesome. And he was on our Zoom and he goes, guys, if you just shut up, you'll make more. And I'm like, oh, the talker over here. Like, okay, totally get that. So I love that. Was there anything that stuck out to you that Brittany said when she shared with me before this, like, hey, I want to share with them about the knuckle rule? I thought that was so smart because I often am telling you guys, send the voice message, right? Do something that is so scary to you or makes you uncomfortable because that's where your growth is going to lay, right? And that knuckle rule kind of forces you to send the voice message because some of y'all got some lead weighted thumbs and you just type and, or I don't know what's going on. Maybe you just don't have the confidence. And when the confidence is lacking, it's usually because clarity lacks. And you're like, what am I missing? What do I not know enough of? Why do I not feel, or why are my thoughts so negative around recruiting? Well, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep walking through that. So I'm going to keep sharing, and then I'm going to work with one of you guys to create this recruiting system tonight. Okay. So can y'all see the screen? I'm looking for a face. Brittany, can you see the presentation? All right, cool. All right, let's keep going. So if you don't believe in what you're selling, neither will your prospect. So up on the screen, I have two little screenshots of recruiting systems that I have found to be so awesome. They were a part of my mentorship group that other ambassadors in Plexus made. One of them created her recruiting system through the Boards app. Some of you are very familiar with the Boards app. So yes, we are literally going to make a system, kind of like how Brittany's got it nailed down. She's been doing this for 3 years. Some of you also have been going through the motions and the steps in your brain, but I want you to physically see the steps that you're taking. And it's usually about 5 steps. Okay. And so in the board of the recruiting system, notice how she has a ton of third-party tools. She uses Jessica Heffley's opportunity video, another comp plan video, Double Diamond, Marianne Anderson's video, and then how to host an event for someone that says yes, and then they want to immediately get to silver. Like, that's her recruiting system. And then another girl on our mentorship group, she kind of typed hers out. So she is like, I'm going to cast vision. I'm going to say, why would they be good at this? Why do they want additional income? She's going to ask hard questions, make sure they understand Plexus is literally for everyone and help them to dream big. And then her 4 main points come down to: you can create residual income. You can earn trips, have fun, and prizes. You can create a legacy business you can pass down to your children. And there is no limit to the amount that you can earn. So some people will work for FedEx, for Kroger, for all these big time companies, and they'll hit a threshold that they cannot surpass. Does not matter if they're there another 17 years. They will make how much they can make. I shared that with you guys from a friend of mine who shared that with me about working for FedEx for 14 years. And she was at the top of her leadership. She couldn't promote anymore. She couldn't make any more money. And this is what we're talking about, having a recruiting system in place where you are so excited about the Plexus opportunity or the Plexus product system, and you know exactly what you want to say to them and how to build belief. And then you show them the money. Whether you're making $26 back on your personal orders or you're making $2,600 a month, show them the money. If you have not made a single dime yet, that's okay. You can show them a diamond documentary of other people who have gone before you and built these incredible teams and legacy businesses and the money that they are making. We also have a third-party tool, a resource, a graphic that shows if you refer 1 VIP customer, you can make about $38. If you refer 3, you can make about $308, right? You've seen those graphics. So show them the money in some way. Then show them how. Explain the power of 3 and getting to silver. Get them on a call or host an event. And then you follow up with them periodically until they are ready to begin. Okay? Oop, I went the wrong way. So first things first, your product sales recruiting system. A lot of you came in for the products first. Yes, if you came in for the products first, put it in the chat. Like, that was me. And then a few of you came in for the business first. If you came in for the biz, drop that in the chat, say biz. But your product belief has to be there. Okay. But I just kind of want to walk you through this for a second. This is the average consumer, like statistics have shown. Any advertisement, think about the last thing that you purchased. Ready? Actually, put it in the chat because I'm really curious. What was the last thing you bought from an advertisement? Whether it was on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you were walking through the grocery store and you passed it and you walked by it again and then like you eventually grabbed it. What was the last thing you purchased? For me, it was actually a Lululemon Scuba, which my husband was like, that's so expensive for a jacket. You can get one just like it on Amazon, right? Well, like this color kept popping up and it's like emerald green. It's beautiful. And so it kept popping up. It kept popping up. And finally, all these like different influencers and girls and women in my life that I was following one by one, they had something similar. And I was like, is this my algorithm playing tricks on me? Like, what's going on? So in real life, statistics show that the first 4 times you see an advertisement, you barely notice it. The 5th time, you may actually stop and read it or look at the picture. The 6th or the 8th time, you're kind of annoyed. That's kind of where I was at. I was like, is it my algorithm? Is it me? Is it because I said something about it? Like, what? The 9th time, you begin to wonder, okay, do I need this? The 10th through the 12th time you see the advertisement, you ask a friend, hey, have you ever bought one of these? Do you own one of these? Maybe you look up the company website. The 13th time, your brain starts to wonder, I wonder if it would be worth it. Do I want to spend the money that I own on this thing? 14 to 19th times, you slowly convince yourself you need it. Maybe you even start saving for it. You guys, the 20th touch, the 20th advertisement, the 20th Plexus post, the 20th story slide. Do you see where I'm going with this? The 20th time is when you are sold. So for those of you that are on this Zoom tonight and you posted one time and you didn't get a sale and you think that you suck, no, my friend, nobody saw it. Remember? First 4 times, barely noticed. You have to show up consistently. I love that Brittany said that in her little spiel because consistency is key here when you're building a sales and recruiting funnel and you're talking about it in your stories. I'm not talking about weird posts. Be a human. Show your audience you making your protein shake. Show your audience you going through the 3-day reset. Show your audience that you are drinking your water because that is key to taking Plexus products. Okay? You have to have product belief or you have to offer product belief because you are walking the walk and talking the talk. And it's not just you believing in the product, it's helping your audience also believe in the product. Okay? Your system checklist. So here's how we are going to begin the actual recruiting system. So I showed you some examples. You're going to have about 5 steps that you take from vision casting through social media posts. Like today, I posted about the trip to Maui this week. I wrapped up the post caption and then said, are you watching me? Do you see this as real life? Do you want this? Yes, I know I'm talking to my teams most of the time when I post that, but I'm also talking to people that are not in Plexus yet. And I want to show them what has been made possible by hard work and the Plexus opportunity. So that would be the first part of my recruiting system. For some of you, you're going to lead with the products first as you are building your business. That's okay. So that's what I want you to do tonight. If you have a pen and paper, I want you to write down 2 product systems that you can get obsessed with. Maybe it's what you're subscribed to now. Maybe it's something you can't live without. I love the examples Brittany gave. Triplex, and then bumping up that PV, triplex and a double pack of active. By the way, did you know triplex and a double pack of active would qualify as a 150 PV order for the Bahamas cruise and get you the extra credits that you're looking for? Just saying, okay? So pick your product system. Your second step is create an obsessed list. So this is like kind of homework. You need to write down 20 reasons why. Why do you love the 3-day reset? Why do you love the triplex? And then look at individual products. What exactly about the Slim do you love? I love that it replaced my daily diet soda habit. Oh, looky there. That's content. That's a post. I love that BioCleanse has relieved me from bloat after meals and in between meals. Do you see what we're doing here? We're problem solving by looking at why we take why are we taking them? What have they helped us with? Who needs it? What are your favorite ingredients? You can nerd out here and have some fun, but get obsessed with the product system and then really, truly try to figure out like, why am I so obsessed with this? And then you're going to identify who the heck are you talking to? Who do you want to help? Who are you selling to? I am 34 years old. So the women that I'm talking to are usually 18 to 36. I'll go like a little bit older than myself because I'm not an empty nester. I don't have teenagers yet. I'm in the thick of it with a 6, 8, and 10-year-old, but I've lived through the toddler years and the baby years and the exhaustion, right? Now I'm in my sports mom era. So I'm talking to the moms that are going through it, been there, done that. And like we're almost there to the teenage years. So if I want to engage with my ideal customer, that's who I'm talking to, the tired mom in the thick of it who needs Plexus energy, who needs the extra income because babies be expensive. I know who I'm talking to. Who are you talking to? And then you're going to either create or find a resource. We have the Triplex tool. It's the video. If you don't have the link to it, I would be happy to provide that to you. We also have diamond documentaries if you're doing a business recruiting system. We have Marianne Anderson's diamond. She's a diamond who made a comp plan video. That's actually in our team page. You could use that. Plexus Go has a ton of resources, and the Plexus Worldwide YouTube channel has a ton of video resources. Under media in the albums of our team page, we have graphics and things that you can use as a third-party resource, as well as before and after photos. You have to have that ready. Create an album in your phone, write it down, and like memorize your recruiting system until you get it. This is something I could do in my sleep now. Y'all know I'm a high recruiter. I love Plexus. I love their products. I've never felt better. I also have run out and stopped subscribing early on in my journey, and I know what it's like to not be on the products. So when it comes to objections and following up with people, y'all better believe I'm a little sweet, but I'm also a little sassy. I anticipate objections. I think we should set a clear expectation as we are building our recruiting system. The first time you're working through it, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. Someone's going to be like, no, thank you. I don't have the money for that, right? So in our team page, there is a post that says, may we have your objections, please? And we've posted a bunch of objections in the comments. There's about 30 comments. Now, the challenge, which in here in a second, we're going to unmute and we're going to walk through these, is we're going to overcome those objections so that we are ready to help them get through that so that they can see the value of what they're ordering versus just the cost. You could spend $8 on a Starbucks drink, but you're consuming 64 grams of sugar. You could spend $8 a day on your Plexus wellness system and support your gut microbiome. See what we're doing there? We're going to learn tonight how to overcome these objections so that our system flows. And then lastly, leveraging events. Y'all, I'll be honest, I did not set the example through this. I just had my first in-person event in a really long time with Brittany at her house, but we have to leverage events. If we can't host one, we need to get people to them, whether they're in person or like the Sunday night Zooms or hosting an event for your new VIPs. Just like, hey, it's a wellness event. I want to share with you like what I'm using and why I love it. It's great practice. If no one shows up, it's okay. It's great practice. For example, this month we're doing our September challenge. It starts the 16th. It goes through the end of the month. Leverage that. This is a great way to recruit new people. You want to earn a pair of shoes, some Lululemon, and have some fun, some accountability? Order your Plexus. We begin on the 16th. So take a screenshot of this so that you can work out and work your recruiting system, work on it throughout the week, really nail down how you want to recruit people. And then you can share it in the team page and, of course, in those chats. So your next step, now that we've kind of like seen like what we're working through here, I need to make sure you're really obsessed with what you're talking about. So if we're going to make a recruiting system leading with the business, it has to pump you up. Like I've shared with y'all before, I used to watch one diamond documentary like every single day. I had to believe that this was it for me. I had to. It made more sense to build a team of 300 people to get a Plexus Lexus than it made more sense for me to go and try to get a loan at a bank and get denied. I didn't have credit established. I was 24 years old. My husband was deployed. It just made more sense to grow a business. I wasn't good at sales, but I really liked people. And then my passion was I have a baby and I need to provide and I want to help others. I want to make money. I want to drive a really nice car. I've never driven a luxury vehicle in my entire life, a Plexus Lexus. Let's go. So write down 7 reasons why you're excited and you believe in the Plexus opportunity. If you want to drop some reasons in the chat, I would love to hear it. And then your recruiting framework. So again, who are we talking to? We talked about this on the recruiting, one of the pillar Zooms. Who are we talking to? What's their problem? Okay, so what's the deeper problem? How is that going to internally impact them, their marriage, their relationships, their body? And then the change that will happen because of Plexus entering the chat. And then the impact of that change for them, maybe more confidence, more money, more friendships, right? Okay, so if you have pen and paper in front of you, I want you to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I want you to write down on number 1, it's build rapport and establish trust. That's number 1, build rapport, establish trust. Number 2, identify their needs and qualify them. Is this person like, do they truly need Plexus right now? Is it something a little bit more? Can I even help them? Like, identify their needs and qualify them. Number 3 is then present your solution. Number 4 is overcome objections. Shall they come up? And then number 5 is close and the call to action. So make the purchase, join the September challenge, whatever that looks like, close and call to action. And then we're about to work through this in just 1 second, but once we really establish this, then we are ready to do our recruiting system to the dream teamer. That person that you've been wanting to tell Plexus about, like, who is it? Who did you just think of when I said the word dream teamer? Write their name down. What do you love about them? What are their character qualities? Are you engaging with them regular in like real life? Are you engaging with them regularly in social media? What does that look like? Okay, so we're going to stop screen sharing for just a minute. And I really, really, really want to work through this recruiting system. So at the bottom of your screen on Zoom, or if you're on your phone, there's a react option. And one of them says hand gesture or raise hands. So if you have a question, or if you're okay with me like picking on you, I would love to walk through this recruiting system with one of you. If you feel like you are not good at recruiting, speak now or forever hold your peace. Or maybe you have great conversations and then no one ever buys. Is that anybody? Am I talking to anybody? I'm trying to read some of these. I love the opportunity the most, Jessica says, because of the people I meet and also the momentum that can come from sharing. It's really incredible. Okay. I get a lot of, I can't afford it. Okay, great. Erin, we're going to walk through how we would overcome this objection as we're going through the recruiting system. So for example, in my recruiting system, I do the majority of my recruiting system through my Instagram stories. That is where I recruit 90% of my new VIPs. I am in my stories and I am active in them. I share like my real life behind the scenes. I share quotes. You'll notice like my feed of Instagram is like one post every few days. Like I'm in my stories. They're like little baby Facebook lives. And so by being in my stories, I've built rapport and trust because people are like, she is who she says she is. She's doing the things. She's taking her Plexus. Look how crazy her household is, whatever. So and Erin, for the record, Erin has been a customer for a minute. She is new to sharing about the business and she's excited, but she's also really coachable. So I love that about you because she'll ask a question. I'll give her an answer and she's like, okay, done. I'm going to do it right now. She executes real quick. And so when it comes to overcoming the objections in your system, so before we have to walk through it, have I built that rapport and trust? Do they trust me? Because it's easy for someone to say, I can't afford that. And for you to reply, okay, that sucks. Okay, like you just like walk away from the conversation. Or you say, you use what is called in sales, it's called the feel, felt, found method. Man, I felt the same way. But what I found is I cannot go out without this. I am not regular in the bathroom. I am not a nice mommy, and I have zero energy when I'm not on my Plexus. and like maybe be relatable. If you don't have that rapport and trust with them yet, you say, you know, I was drinking Dr. Pepper 4 times a day. Not only am I no longer putting all that sugar in my body, but the pink drinks kind of replace that bad habit. Imagine, and you repeat back to them something they shared with you. Because a lot of the time people will tell you, like, I'm just really looking for weight loss, or like, Erin, you made your jot form. So when people fill that out, they're sharing information about their goals with you. And so you always isolate the objection and take it back to them. So you're telling me you cannot afford this. How much do you think it is? What are you spending money on right now that you would be willing to give up so that you could make Plexus a priority? I think sometimes we get hung up on, I was just told no. Ouch, that stung a little bit. I don't know how to move forward. Does that sound right, Erin? You're like, ouchies, why'd you tell me no? But in reality, think about how many times we say no to things. Like, I'm at Target and I put stuff back all the time. I go to Best Buy and they're like, would you like to come check out the new iPhone? Like, no, dude, I don't. I have an iPhone. Like, you know, it could be something that my whole family's eating ice cream. Not even fair right now. They all just walked in the door with ice cream. But we have to show them, I'm human too. It's expensive outside. I empathize with that. I relate to that. But you isolate the objection and you just keep coming back. But in your job form or in your gut health quiz, whatever you call it, you said this was a priority and it's something you wanted to work on in the next 8 weeks. Is that still true? And you just keep revisiting the information that they've shared with you. And then they have to realize, like, you right, I did say that. And sometimes you're not going to get a yes that day. That's how sales are. There's been times that I had to test drive a car, go home and think about it, go back to the dealership, look at the car again, get real nitpicky, like, oh, I don't like the interior, like whatever we do when we're making a big purchase. You know, $120, $200 is a lot of money for many people, especially right now. And so I love to break it down to cost per day. I love to emotionally connect with them and explain, like, I have felt absolutely at my worst before. I've cried in my closet over my weight and my body image. I've talked meanly to myself. But this community has held me accountable. They've been so encouraging and loving. They've showed me things about gut health in my body I didn't even know. And I'm a 34-year-old woman. And like, you're empathizing and you're also like, this is a human, be a human. And I think sometimes we just have to give ourselves permission to be a human and let them respond too. Erin, I'm going to unmute you. Did it say unmute? Okay. Do you have any questions now?
No.
Or do you feel like a little bit better about if someone were to say that to you again, you could walk through it a little bit further with them to like really like, can you not afford it? Or do you just don't understand something about it yet? Maybe.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better now.
Okay. Somebody else said that. Who else? Sarah, I get a lot of, I can't afford it, maybe another time. Okay, so both of you y'all both probably started sharing about Plexus about the same time. And so something that I think is really important when overcoming objections is that when you're showing up consistently, make sure you are overcoming this objection and what you are sharing. This is now a part of your recruiting system, right? It's step 3 and 4 before anybody makes that purchase or fills out the jot form and says they're ready or clicks on your share cart link, whatever. They're getting hung up on the objection. So your skill to learn is I need to overcome that objection and think about, you know, what objections did I have? Or if I said that to someone, what made me change my mind? Like, how did Hannah encourage you to move forward with your purchase? Sarah, how did I encourage you? Sarah actually quit for a long time and like recently came back and was like, had enough of this life. I want better. I want more, you know? And she didn't say it like that. She's not manly or aggressive like that at all. But she was very serious about, I want to change my life. And I keep seeing you and I'm ticked off at myself for giving up. And so I do. I love that Lauren shared in the chat. We have to show them the emotional value of what they're purchasing before you give them a price, because there is a big difference in value versus cost. Otherwise, it will never feel worth it to them. So on that note, I'm going to go back to the presentation because I want to show y'all. Let me share my screen again. I want to share with y'all what I had next. Oh, this is what we were doing. The thought behind I'm not a good recruiter. I can't recruit anyone. Nobody's paying attention to my Instagram stories. No one's even looking at my stuff. People buy exactly what I offer. That is your new thought. That is your new affirmation. I would love for you to write this down. Paula, that's a great one. We're going to overcome that in just a second. You can recruit new VIPs. People are spending money on what we offer here at Plexus every single day. That's why Walgreens has their lights still on. That's why Walmart's in business, GNC. We have 5-star nutrition in our town. People are buying probiotics and vitamins and prebiotics and multivitamins every single day. So we have to talk nicely to ourselves and about our businesses and about sales and understand like nobody just gets good at this overnight. I had to learn this. I've been told no a lot. I probably made a lot of people mad, annoyed a lot of people. I think it's a part of the sales business. But you also have to remove that emotion of like, I'm doing my job. I'm showing up because they're not going to know about Plexus unless I tell them, right? And be confident in your recruiting system. Now, Paula said an objection that she gets often that stops her flow is it's not FDA approved. I need to ask my doctor. Okay, 2 things there. No supplements, not even formula is FDA approved. But you know what is? Cigarettes. Cigarettes. So like, this is where a voice message would come in handy. And I'm really sassy. So I'm probably not the best at overcoming this objection. Lauren's like, don't do it, Emily. But when I haven't had this objection in a really long time, I will say, Paul, so for a reference, Paula is a new Gold Ambassador. She's 60 years old. And that is something that is going to come up in your age group. And it's just because that's what they were taught for years and years and years, including my mom. When she started Plexus, she said the same thing. But we are discovering, for example, if you follow the Food Babe on Instagram or Facebook, she does an incredible podcast at breaking down things that have been FDA approved, but they are allowed, like candy bars are allowed to have 80 insect pieces in them and it getting passed through the FDA approval. Like that's disgusting, you know? And so when I think about that and I think about that objection, I'm like, but did you know what the FDA does approve in our food? Like, did you know? And not in an ugly way, just in like, by the way, your little FDA that you're hung up on, that's fine. Or I need to ask my doctor. I would say, great, ask your doctor, but keep in mind, doctors are not herbalists or supplement. They're not gut health experts. Doctors are paid to present a problem and offer a medication as the solution. That is what doctors do. And it's okay. We need doctors. We love doctors. They're great. But there are some doctors that do believe in holistic natural approaches and they love Plexus. We have tons of doctors in Plexus that use our probiotics and multivitamins in their practices. But I also sometimes we have to consider the source. We have to consider who we're talking to and be patient. Again, it goes back to your recruiting system. Step 1 was vision casting, whether it's products or the business. So Paula, if that was me and I knew I was getting that objection a lot, I would be saying, wow, this month I shared with 3 friends. I made some money back and it covered the cost of all my Plexus products. It's like I'm taking them for free. And then another post would be like, these supplements aren't FDA approved and I'm okay with that. And here's why, because the FDA has approved this, this, and this. And I think that's nasty. And I don't need their validation for or stamp of approval on my supplement brand. But did like a lot of moms, like one of my biggest objections was, oh, I'm nursing my baby. I can't. And my lactation specialist, she's on the board for the nation. And she was just like, Emily, you need this. Like, this is helping your milk production. Like Gentry was a baby and losing weight so fast. And I was just like so upset because I wanted to nurse him and it just wasn't working out. But I truthfully believe that being on Triplex actually helped me do that. And so I started sharing that with these moms that were telling me no because they were nursing. And I was showing like, this is This is what I pumped before, and then I drank my pink drink, and this is what I pumped after. And I would just share these real life experiences. So a part of your recruiting system is the content you're sharing, the posts, the relatable real life things that you're doing. So just keep that in mind. And y'all do such a great job at sharing already. I see y'all stuff every single day, but now we can be more intentional. We can keep these objections and the conversations we're having in mind as we are making new content. So, does everybody feel equipped? You have complete clarity over how to make your recruiting steps in your system so that you know the 5 steps that you would take to help someone seal the deal. Is anybody not feeling equipped before we get off of this Zoom? Now, back online when we're on Facebook and in the chats, that's fine. When we're back in our chats, we're going to share what we come up with. So just like those examples I shared on the screen a minute ago, I want you guys, let me see if I can share another one. Because there was another really good one that I had airdropped to. Okay, yeah, let me share my screen real fast. This is so good. Y'all can screenshot this if you want. So this is another one about sharing the biz and her recruiting system about sharing the business. So vision casting, the 3 main points that her content and her conversations will be about. Showing them the money and leading with the business. A lot of us want to, enroll business builders, but business builders are developed. They're not necessarily found, but you can attract like-minded people to the business by showing them the money, sending them a diamond doc, like, oh my gosh, I just watched this story and it was so beautiful. It reminded me of you and your family. Will you please watch this and tell me what you think? And then you show them how. So when someone does say yes and they sign up, you get them plugged into a Sunday night Zoom. You have them text that phone number, the earn, and it walks them through that 6-day system, right? And then you can continue to share about we have how to get to silver, how to get to senior. We have these different resources that you can use to help them move forward with their goals. So we're going to keep working through this the rest of the week in the team page. You're going to see the objections posts bumped back up in the no, there's no wrong answers. If you feel like you can overcome an objection that you see in the comments, put it down. We have to come together as a team and openly discuss, this is how I overcome this. This is how I recruit this many people. And it's just something that I just freaking loved our company. And not because I'm a diamond and I'm supposed to say that. No, I really got excited in the beginning. And that's why I think I went emerald so quickly, because I genuinely was excited to help people and could show other people, look what's available to us. We can do this business plan together. We can earn a Plexus Lexus to get it was something that I could get behind, but people get hung up on the mindset and I'm not good at sales. Instead of getting uncomfortable and learning new skills, they would just quit. But we're not quitters. We're going to work together and we're going to build these systems so that we can all have a legacy business and not just fiddle fart and be like, oh, thanks for ordering. No, we're not going to do that. This is not Walmart. They did not just come in and check out, express checkout. No, we don't do that here. These are going to be relationships, and these are people that you might be on the Bahamas cruise with. These might be people you go to Maui with, that you are going to start doing life with. So this is just the first step. So next week is going to be Jessica Ruckel and Tara Ruckel. They are going to lead the Zoom on creating content creation, and having a system in place for how to mass produce content. If maybe you only have 15 minutes, maybe you're a mom, maybe you work 9 to 5 and you're like, I ain't got no time. Well, Jessica and Tara are going to walk you through 5-step system. If you got 15 minutes, boom, boom, boom. Here's how you can create content and using resources like ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, and just having fun. It does not matter if you are 16 or 65. Everybody's on the internet making content right now. Seriously, don't make me send you reels, because I will. If you give me approval, I'll send you the weird things I watch on the internet. Okay. So thank you guys for being on tonight. I've really enjoyed kind of walking you through these systems. And if you are kind of hung up on, I'm just not real sure, am I making my system correctly? Post what you create in the team page. I will approve it. It'll be pending, but I'll approve it. And then Lauren and I can help walk you through Maybe there's no flow, or maybe you're missing the vision casting piece, or maybe it's you're getting hung up on overcoming objections, or maybe it's share a cart and closing the deal. But we'll walk you through that as long as you build your system and share it with the team. Okay. So can we all do that this week? I'm boarding a flight Wednesday, but I'm going to look at your recruiting systems. I'm really excited. I have 8 hours on an airplane to do it. So please make your systems and send them to me so I can look over them. And for those of you that are recruiting bosses, think about what you do, write it down, and that's probably your recruiting system. Okay. It doesn't have to be all cookie cutter. It can look the way that you've been doing it and doing it well, and we'll just make it better. So thanks for being on, everybody, and they will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.